Hey kids, welcome to Story Time again. Today we're going to be talking about our two shows where we opened for Yngwie Malmsteen's Rising Force on our European tour in 1988. We did a huge show in Belgium at this crazy bike track place. Next night, or the following night after that, we did a show with him in Holland at this huge, maybe like an airplane hangar type place, huge metal building. And there was a great turnout for the Yngwie shows, huge crowd. We were just lucky enough to get between them for our 30 minutes or whatever it was. But I really enjoyed that. It was awesome. I got to walk out on stage before we started, and I took pictures of Yngwie's pedals laid out on the floor and everything. I was on his side of the stage. So that was super cool. I got to look at all his guitars and his stuff, the way his amps were all strapped down together from the back and everything. Just an incredible experience because I was a huge fan of his, and it had only been maybe 2 or 3 years max where I was buying the Rising Force album, and then there I am about to walk out on stage before he plays. So super great. Very thankful for that experience. It was wonderful. The next show we did was in Holland, and that night we were told you can't go in the hallways when Yngwie's coming to the stage and everything, and that was fine, but it was just funny, you know. So we waited till after they went past for him to go on stage for us to go out and try to see. I got lucky enough that I went where I was not supposed to be. I went between the barricade and the stage over on his side, and I got to sit there and watch him play, looking up at him probably 8 feet off the ground in front of me, and nobody chased me off. So that was fantastic. That was really a great moment because I was the only one standing there. I was having a moment all by myself, that same big Yngwie fan kid, and there I was, him in front of me, the crowd behind me, and he kicked absolute ass. He was doing shit that I hadn't seen before. I mean, and not at that time anyway. He was flicking the pick, kicking it with his cowboy boots, and catching it. And some of them just went right out into the crowd or down on the floor, but some of them he caught. And when he would catch them, he would finish the run. You know, he'd be doing a legato run, kick it, and then catch it and pick the finishing of the run. It was incredible. You know, I felt like that was a personal show for me that I'll never forget. Incredible experience. I loved it. And anyway, so at some point, I can't remember when it is, we were in our dressing room, and I was kidding around. I was poking some fun at Yngwie because, you know, I was a fan of his more metal sounding material. And, you know, watching him play like The Queen Is in Love from Trilogy, I think it was, and the way that he would like wiggle and dance and everything, I was actually mimicking him in the dressing room. And I turn around, and the drummer, Anders Johansson, is standing behind me. I don't know if he saw what I was doing, but I was completely embarrassed, and all my bandmates laughed at me. It was so funny. But he was super cool, very friendly, very outgoing. And back then, well, always, I've been like an ambassador for the band Watchtower. It's the band I would always try to say, you got to check this out. So I did that with Anders Johansson, too. I said, hey, you ever heard of Watchtower? And his exact response was, Rick Kalaluka. I'll never forget it. He knew exactly who they were. And also that second night, he came out and stood on the stage leaning against the back of the PA facing us. He watched Frank very well, and he could just see the whole band. And that was super cool. We did our set while Anders Johansson stood there on the stage facing us. So again, an incredible experience. Very thankful for all that. And it was just great. So glad that we got to play with him during that time period. Jolene Turner was the singer, and it was very much a band presentation. It wasn't what you see that his shows have turned into in these days. So anyway, it was super great. He takes a lot of shit. People are always trying to hammer on him, but Rising Force and Marching Out are two incredibly important albums that I will never forget. Marching Out was more metal than probably any of his other albums, and it was great. I'll See the Light Tonight. Who didn't love that, right? So anyway, we all love you, Yngwie. You are great, and don't let anybody piss on your Ferrari. You're awesome.